Welcome to the Dash Mindset Podcast. I'm Sherry Zievenbergen. You were born, you're gonna die, and your adventure is your dash in between. So make the most of it. Unlock your potential in all aspects of your dash by embracing your uniqueness and living in a way that's authentic to you, not by doing more things, but by focusing on the right things. I'm a former corporate leader turned coach who's on my own journey, and I'm passionate about helping you on your journey too. So on the podcast, we'll explore how to live authentically by deciphering who you truly are and what you truly want. Are you ready to take a step toward designing your dash? Someday doesn't actually exist, so let's do it now. Hello there. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to talk more about how we spend our time, because how we spend our time is how we spend our lives. And we want our lives to be meaningful, right? So in episode 41, I talked about something called future time slack, which is also referred to as the yes, damn effect. And the focus was on the things we truly do want to do that we postpone because we think we're going to have more time later. Yet when later comes and we see that we're just as busy and we didn't think we would be, our reaction is, damn it, even though we do want to do the thing. So now today, I want to talk about those things we often put on our calendar that we actually don't really want to do at all. Those are the things that we might postpone, or at least wish we could postpone, not due to time, but due to our desire to avoid it all around, because it's just something we don't enjoy. I put these things into a couple different categories that I want to talk through today, because we often don't take time to really think them through, because we're stuck in autopilot. We're always going, doing. And that's one reason why they end up on our calendar at all. So here's an example of something you might put on your calendar that you really don't want to do at all. Going to the dentist. Do you enjoy going to the dentist? Does anyone really enjoy going to the dentist? I don't. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I can think of 1,000 other things I'd prefer doing instead. When she's all up in my business, flossing my teeth, using that pokey thing to scrape them, and poking at my gums. Ugh. I mean, it makes me happy when she hands me that little bag with a new toothbrush and a little toothpaste and floss. That's kind of fun. But otherwise, I'm not a fan. But it's one of those things I put on my calendar because I know it's in my best interest to go. I'm getting something out of it. I don't want to be limited to applesauce when I'm 80 or Jell-O. And I really like coffee. And I appreciate that going to the dentist prevents my teeth from turning brown. So those are a couple driving forces why I go to the dentist. So if it's one of those things I'm not particularly thrilled about, but I know I have to do it because it's in my best interest, I put it on my calendar. And based on the reasons I'm putting on my calendar, I go. I may still have that damn it moment when the time comes, but I know it's something I ultimately really want and need to do because it's serving me in some way. I suspect dentist appointments are the same for you too. I don't know. Maybe you're one of those people that actually enjoys going. But now let's talk about those things you put on your calendar that you don't really want to do and don't prevent you from being limited to applesauce and Jell-O when you're 80. The things that actually don't benefit you in the long term or short term. The things you really just don't enjoy or want to do at all because they truly don't benefit you in any way, or at least enough to make it worth your time. Do you have any of those things on your calendar? Does anything immediately come to mind? So stick with me. I'll give you an example. So let's say Sally at work wants you to go to lunch with her every month. And she's nice enough. She's a good person. You have no problem with Sally. But you just don't click with her like you do with some people. You know how some people you just click with, right? And so you don't click with Sally and you just don't get that much out of your lunches with her. So the day you're supposed to go to lunch with Sally, you look at your calendar and you have that damn it moment. But it's more than that. You're immediately frustrated because you have at least 42 other things you need to do. And you know you're going to be working late to do the 42 things because you're going to lunch with her. Then while you're at lunch with Sally, she's going on about her Uncle Joe and her cousin Susie, neither of whom you've ever met. You're thinking about all the emails you need to respond to 1 minute. And the next minute you find yourself wondering, wait, who's the Bob she just mentioned? Because she does that thing some people do. She refers to people you've never met by name without any context. Or maybe she provided context and you don't know because you're thinking about your emails and your grocery list and, who's picking your son up from soccer. And you're too busy thinking about all those other things and too disinterested to really be listening. Or maybe you're wondering, when they put new light fixtures in here, who knows? You really don't care who Bob is. And you don't want to extend the lunch any further by asking. So instead, you just nod along. And at the end of lunch, Sally asks you where you want to go next month. And you say, wherever, we can come here again if you want. With the same level of enthusiasm my 11-year-old has when he says, I will, when I ask him to take out the garbage or do anything. So part of you is hoping a meeting gets added to your calendar between now and then, anything that justifiably gets you out of having to have lunch with Sally again, or at least gives you a 1-month reprieve. And you think to yourself, wait, why do I have to have lunch with Sally every month again? And that's an excellent question. Why do you have to have lunch with Sally every month? You don't. You might feel like you have to, but do you really? Instead, ask yourself this. Why do I feel like I have to go to lunch with Sally all the time? Because a year ago I said I would? How did that go exactly? How did I end up here? Why did I end up here? Actually think through your lunches with Sally, the whole sequence of events in detail. And ask yourself, do I look forward to going to lunch with Sally? When I say yes to the next lunch, what goes on in my mind? Relief that I have another month until the next one? Anticipation because I'm anxious to hear an update on Bob and find out who he is? When the day comes, will I be excited? Will I be looking forward to it? How will I actually feel? Will I feel dread, annoyance? Do I enjoy my time with her? Do I find it energizing? Or do I simply just go through the motions, thinking about what I could be doing instead? What I will be doing later as a result? And what exactly is the point? Am I going because I feel like I have to? Because I feel like I should? Because I'll feel guilty if I don't? Because it's the nice thing to do? And if I don't enjoy it and I don't really want to go, how does it really benefit Sally? What if not going gives Sally time to have lunch with someone who actually wants to have lunch with her instead? Someone she truly clicks with. What if my time with her is taking time away from her having lunch with someone she really enjoys? What if Sally doesn't even actually want to have lunch with me? And she dreads our lunch date every month, thinking, really, why did I ever think this was a good idea? Could I potentially be doing her a favor by suggesting we do lunch less frequently? Or maybe not even at all? What if the both of us are going through the motions simply because we said we would at one point, and neither one of us even wants to be there? I know you might be thinking, okay, this sounds ridiculous. And wow, what is our problem with Sally? I have zero problems with Sally, and I only actually know a Sally. But this is the level of frustration we often feel when our time and attention is spent on someone or something that's simply not that important to us. Not having a strong desire to spend time with a particular person doesn't mean we have anything against that person at all. There are a lot of nice people in this world, but spending your precious time having lunch with them might just not be the best use of your time. And sometimes it takes walking through the series of events in detail, considering how we feel each step along the way. It's surprising how often I've walked through this with someone and they've realized, wait, why am I doing this? This is something I don't actually even want to do. It might be doing lunch with someone, or it could be anything. So maybe it's not spending time with a particular person. Sometimes it's simply doing something they feel like they should, often because it's what they've always done, like attend a certain meeting or baking their son's birthday cake, because that's what they've always done. It's what they feel like they're expected to do. It's what they feel like they should do. When really, when they actually think about it, does their son really care? Or would their son actually just prefer a cake from Costco because they're delicious and they're inexpensive too? I mean, Costco cakes, really, if you haven't had one, I suggest you do. So now think through how much you want to do each of the things on your calendar, how much you actually want to do each of them versus how much you think you should. Here's another example. Maybe some friends ask you to go camping and you love spending time with these friends. These are your people. You just click. But the thought of camping with these friends makes you less than enthused. So before you say yes, take the time to think through what that experience will actually look like in detail. Walk yourself through the entire sequence of events. Finding sleeping bags, finding the tent your father-in-law gave you a few years ago. When you get to the site, you'll have to put the tent up. And when you're not really sure if it has all the stakes, you'll be thinking, wait, it seems kind of like he said, not sure if all the stakes are there when he gave it to you. how will it actually go? Will your kids be next to you in the tent, singing and giggling until 2 a.m. while you repeatedly tell them to be quiet and go to sleep? How will you feel the next day? Refreshed, excited to wake up in nature as the sun rises, or hot, sticky, and sleep deprived, complaining about your back? This example is pretty easy for me because I've walked through this sequence in my own head several times, which led me to realizing I love bonfires and s'mores. The rest of the camping stuff, not as much. Aside from the bonfire and s'mores, it's something I could do without. It's not that I'm entirely opposed to camping. Depends on the destination, the overall reason, a lot of things. But because I can so clearly envision my frustration through that sequence of events, finding the tent, finding the stakes, putting it up, I can actually hear myself asking myself as I'm attempting to put up the tent, why did I say we'd go camping again? Why didn't I just say we'd be there for bonfire and s'mores? So it's unlikely I'll have a camping trip on our calendar anytime soon, unless I can come up with reasons why the pros outweighs the cons. And I won't be guessing myself while looking for the tent. So back to you. Maybe there's a music festival your cousin has been wanting you to go to. Maybe that's it, and it's on your calendar. But when you really think it through, you have no desire to be around a bunch of other sweaty people for 2 days when it's 95 degrees and 110% humidity. And if that's the case, is it really in your best interest to go? Is it in your cousin's best interest for you to be there? Probably not, because he's going to realize you don't really want to be there. And it's going to take away from his experience. So the favor you think you're doing isn't really even a favor at all. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, but I love spending time with Sally. What's the deal with Sally? I love her. Or I love camping. Or a 2-day music festival in the middle of summer sounds incredible. Fantastic. You should do those things. Keep them on your calendar and do them. But if you know you don't get excited about one of those things and it's on your calendar, consider whether or not it's truly in your best interest to go. And consider if it's truly in the other person's best interest for you to go too. Because every time you say yes to one thing, it requires you to say no to another. So think about what will be most meaningful to you. Think through the value of your time, attention, and energy. And think about what you ultimately want to give it to. Because even if you think you're the exception, you only get so much. And on that note, I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to know and would so appreciate it if you left a review. If you're not really sure how you feel about the things on your calendar, let's chat. Each of us gets one dash, and I'd love to help you make yours matter in a way that's most meaningful to you. So my details are in the show notes. Reach out, and I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for listening to the Dash Mindset Podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast player, tell your friends, and leave us a review. Follow me on my social media platforms highlighted in the show notes, and get in touch with me at thedashmindset.com. Share the topics you'd like me to explore in future episodes. Thanks again for listening to the Dash Mindset Podcast. We'll see you next time. Design and differentiate your dash your way and make today amazing.